In the past 18 months, $15 billion in planned automotive investment has shifted from the US to Canada, signaling a major realignment in North American auto manufacturing. Japanese automakers, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, are leading this move, rethinking their US commitments. The reasons are complex economic incentives, political pressures, and global trade uncertainty. Honda recently announced a $2 billion expansion in Ontario for hybrid and electric vehicles, shelving similar plans in Ohio. Toyota is boosting production in Cambridge, Ontario, focusing on the RAV4. These aren't just assembly line shuffles, they're a fundamental shift in where the future of auto manufacturing lies. For decades, Japanese automakers built their North American strategy around the US, investing billions and creating jobs. But recent volatility in American trade policy has eroded that foundation. Automakers, who plan years ahead, are now seeking safer harbors for their capital. This shift challenges the assumption that the US is the default destination for foreign auto investment. Every factory expansion redirected to Canada means thousands of American jobs lost, and local economies feel the impact. The ripple effect hits suppliers, logistics, and small businesses. What started as isolated decisions is now a major trend, reshaping the continent's industrial landscape. The compass for auto investment is pointing north, and the implications are profound. The move to Canada is a calculated business decision, not an emotional one. Canada's universal healthcare system slashes labor costs for automakers compared to the US, where companies shoulder expensive employee healthcare. Regulatory processes in Canada are more predictable and streamlined, reducing risk for billion-dollar investments. The country boasts a highly skilled workforce, with government and academia aligning training to industry needs, especially for electric and autonomous vehicles. Canada's aggressive pursuit of free trade agreements gives automakers tariff-free access to Europe and Asia, a strategic edge over US plants. Investment incentives, tax credits, R&D grants, infrastructure funding are consistent and reliable. Combined, these factors make Canada a compelling choice for Japanese automakers. The business case is clear: lower costs, better market access, and a stable environment. For global companies, Canada is now the smart bet for the next North American factory. The shift isn't just logical, it's inevitable. Canada's advantages are too significant to ignore. The US political climate is a major driver of this industrial shift. President Trump's protectionist trade agenda has upended decades of stability, introducing tariffs and uncertainty. The renegotiated USMCA brought stricter rules of origin and wage requirements, complicating supply chains and raising costs. The threat of sudden policy changes, sometimes announced via social media, makes long-term planning risky. Public criticism and threats from the White House have created an adversarial relationship with automakers. Companies now weigh not just economics, but the risk of political backlash. For Japanese executives, this unpredictability is a stark contrast to the collaborative government-industry relationships they're used to. The US is no longer seen as a stable, predictable market. Canada's political stability and commitment to rules-based trade stand in sharp contrast. For automakers seeking certainty, Canada is the safer, long-term investment. The political environment has fundamentally altered where companies choose to build. Tariffs have become the Trump administration's main weapon in its trade war, hitting the auto industry hard. Steel and aluminum tariffs raise production costs for all automakers in the US. The looming threat of a 25% tariff on imported cars and parts has forced Japanese automakers to rethink their strategies. For companies importing components or vehicles, such tariffs would be devastating. The risk of sudden sweeping tariffs has made Canada an attractive hedge. Producing vehicles in Canada within the USMCA bloc insulates automakers from US tariff shocks. Instead of doubling down on US plants, companies are diversifying their North American footprint. Ironically, tariffs meant to protect American jobs are pushing investment north. Canada's lower costs and stable politics make it the perfect alternative. The policy designed to wall off the US economy is financing new factories just across the border. Automakers are hedging their bets, and Canada is winning. The unintended consequence: a surge in Canadian auto investment. News of Japanese automakers shifting billions to Canada has sparked a furious response from President Trump. He's taken to social media, accusing companies like Honda of betraying American workers and threatening punitive taxes. These public condemnations are followed by directives to review federal support for foreign automakers and explore penalties under USMCA. The message: defy the America First agenda and face government retaliation. Trump frames these moves as personal betrayals, escalating corporate decisions into diplomatic disputes. The industry's public response is measured, reaffirming commitment to the U.S. market, but privately, executives are alarmed. The president's unpredictable style makes long-term planning nearly impossible. Instead of keeping investment in the U.S., these threats reinforce the logic of diversifying to more stable environments like Canada. The administration's tactics are accelerating the very trend it hopes to reverse. For automakers, the risk of political backlash outweighs the benefits of staying put. The U.S. government's pressure is driving companies to seek stability elsewhere. Canada's calm, consistent approach is increasingly attractive. The more the U.S. threatens, the faster the investment flows north. The president's fury is fueling Canada's auto boom. While the U.S. projects hostility toward foreign investment, Canada is rolling out the red carpet. Federal and provincial governments actively court automakers, highlighting lower taxes, R&D credits, and fast-track permits. Ontario's Job Site Challenge promises shovel-ready sites in under a year, unheard of in the U.S. This concierge-style support is highly appealing to companies eager to build quickly. The payoff is clear. Honda and Toyota's new investments will create thousands of direct and indirect jobs in Ontario. The region's economy is booming, solidifying its status as Canada's auto heartland, especially for electric and autonomous vehicles. Success breeds success. As more automakers choose Canada, others follow, including battery and software firms. Canada is branding itself as North America's hub for next-gen automotive technology. By offering stability and real incentives, Canada isn't just winning factories, it's gaining a strategic edge. The country is shaping the future of the auto industry. For every new job in Ontario, there's a sense of loss in American towns. Diverted investment means lost opportunities for stable, well-paying jobs that once anchored the U.S. middle class. Cancelled expansions ripple through local economies. Suppliers, diners, and schools all feel the impact. The result is a slow erosion of community vitality, hard to reverse. American workers, long proud of their productivity, feel betrayed by forces beyond their control. The shift isn't about their performance, but high-level, political and economic decisions. Resentment grows, not just toward companies, but toward government policies that enabled the move. As new tech investments go to Canada, U.S. workers risk being left behind in the industry's biggest transition in a century. They may end up building yesterday's cars, while Canadians build the vehicles of tomorrow. The skills and technology gap could leave entire regions facing decline. Japanese auto investment in Canada may signal a permanent realignment of North American manufacturing. Ontario is emerging as a powerful northern hub, focused on electric vehicle technology. Canada's success in attracting battery and EV investments is creating a gravitational pull for the entire supply chain. Automakers are increasingly likely to locate assembly plants near this new battery belt. The U.S. is trying to catch up, but political volatility has given Canada a head start. The future will be more fragmented and competitive, with strong hubs in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Automakers face more complexity, different regulations, incentives, and political climates. The era of easy North American cooperation may be ending, replaced by rivalry for jobs and investment. The map of auto production is being redrawn in real time. For automakers, more options mean more challenges. For the continent, the stakes have never been higher. The next generation of automotive technology will be built where the environment is most welcoming. The shift of Japanese auto investment to Canada is a direct result of economic, political, and trade dynamics reshaping North America. Canada's lower costs, stable politics, and global trade access have made it the clear choice. U.S. protectionism and volatility have only accelerated the trend. The result: Canada's auto sector is booming, while American communities face lost opportunities. The integrated North American auto industry is fracturing, with each country vying for the future. The policies, meant to protect U.S. jobs, have pushed growth north. The long-term consequences, for workers, supply chains, and technology, are just beginning to unfold. As the industry stands at a crossroads, the question remains: can North America remain united, or is fragmentation now inevitable?